Good morning, noon, or night, families and kids. Whatever time of day you're joining me on, I hope it's a good one for you. Today's lesson, we're going to be talking about, as you can see, letters. Some resources you might want to print out for this lesson is the packet labeled Kindergarten Readiness Packet. The pages we're going to be using look like this. Today we're going to be doing letters A through I, which I like to call the beginning of the alphabet if we're breaking it into 3 parts. So you'll need the capital letter pages, A through G, and then just H and I on that next page. And then also the lowercase letter pages, which start after the end of the alphabet in uppercase, so you'll have A and B on one page, and then C through I on the next page. If you don't have access to a printer or you haven't yet printed this packet, that's okay. Lined paper would be just fine. I just really like packets like these, or if you have paper like these, because it really helps with handwriting and proper letter writing placement with the 3 lines. So you have the top, the middle, and the bottom. I'll give you a few seconds to gather those materials and take out this page so we can get started. So since the beginning is notoriously the best place to start, we're going to start with letter A. I wrote my letter A in red because the letter A always reminds me of apples, and apples are mostly red. To write a letter A, you want to start at the highest point, so that would be that tippy top, right there. And from that top point, you're going to draw a diagonal line all the way down to the bottom left over here. And then another diagonal line down to the bottom right. Once you have your 2 diagonal lines from top to bottom, you're going to connect them with a horizontal line across the middle. So go ahead and practice by writing 5 A's on that Kindergarten Readiness Packet page. 5 A's, and I'll write them with you. Top to bottom, line across. Top to bottom, line across. Top to bottom, line across, and one more, top to bottom, line across. I can only fit 4 A's on my line, but yours is a little bit longer than mine, so go ahead and try to squeeze 5 in. And a good thing to do is, as you're writing them, to say the letters. So every time you finish the letter, top to bottom, line across, go ahead and say A. Next, we're going to move on to the capital letter B. So you're going to move down to that second letter, which is a B. I wrote my letter B in blue because the color blue starts with the letter B, but you can choose any color you want. To write a letter B, we're going to again start at the top. You'll start to notice a pattern here. Most of our letters we start writing at the top. So go ahead and put your pencil on the top line and trace all the way down to the bottom, top to bottom again. And then you're going to make 2 bumps. I think another cool thing about the letter B is it looks like half of a butterfly, doesn't it? Like if I connected and drew a backwards B over here, it would look like a butterfly. And butterfly starts with B. So go ahead and write your 5 B's on the line. Top to bottom, bump, bump. Top to bottom, bump, bump. Top to bottom, bump, bump. One more, top to bottom, bump, bump. And that is the letter B, which which stands for blue, and butterfly, like our half of the butterfly. Next in the alphabet, A, B, C, the letter C. I drew my letter C in black, and I don't know if you can see them from here, but I even put little ears on it because the letter C always makes me think of a cat, and my favorite cats are black cats, so I did my capital C in black. C is a little bit different than A and B in that you don't start at the highest point. You start at this little curve that's about halfway between our middle dashed line and our top line. So once you have that starting point, you're going to curve up to the top, up, and then curve all the way down to the bottom, and then start curving up again about halfway in between the bottom line and the middle line. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and add your cat ears, just for fun. So let's do 5 of those. So start in the middle of the top and the middle line, curve up and down and back up. In the middle, curve up and down and back up. Middle again, up, down, back up. Start in the middle one more time. Curl up, down, 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 back up. And if you'd like, for fun, go ahead and add your cat ears because C stands for cat. Can you think of any other words that start with that sound? The first word other than cat that comes to my mind is car. Next in the alphabet, we have the letter D. I did my D in red because one of my favorite stories growing up was about this red dog named Clifford. So I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that's why I do my letter D in red, because Clifford the dog was red. But go ahead and pick whatever color you want, or if you're doing it in pencil or pen, that's fine too. To draw a letter D back to our A and B theme, you're going to start at the top and simply just draw a straight line all the way to the bottom. And then comes just your one curve. So with the letter B, we had 2 bumps, bump, bump. The letter D is just 1 bump. So it connects that top point to that bottom point. D, dog. Go ahead and write your 5 Ds on the line. Top to bottom, and bump. Top to bottom, and big bump. Sure that it connects the top to the bottom, top to bottom, big bump, and let's do one more, top to bottom. Oh, if I can squeeze it in, big bump. There you go. I know mine are a little wonky over here because I was trying to fit them in, but hopefully yours look better than mine. Next in the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E. My letter E is in this like grayish blue color because E always makes me think of elephants. E for elephant. To draw an E, just like the letter D, all you have to do is start at the tippy top and draw a straight line down to the bottom. So it's like connecting those 2 points, top line to bottom line. And then you have 3 horizontal. Horizontal means across this way lines. So you're going to start at this top point. Imagine that this E has like 3 dots in it. 1 on the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the bottom. So starting at that top dot, you're going to draw a horizontal line straight across. It should be just about touching that top line. And then straight across these middle dashed lines, and 1 at the bottom. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 lines in the letter E. Let's draw 5 letter E's. Top to bottom, line, line, line. Top to bottom. I'm going to make mine a little bit darker for you. line, line, line. Let me switch to a darker blue. I'll go over those one more time. So we had top to bottom. Keep working on whichever E you're on. Line, line, line. Top to bottom, line, line, line. Top to bottom, line, line, line. And one more. Top to bottom, line, line, line. And there we have our 5 E's for elephant. Can you think of anything else that starts with that sound? The other word that comes to my mind is egg. So after E, we have F, which is actually a lot like E. I wrote my F in this pinkish purple color because the letter F is the first letter in the word fabulous, and I think that this color is fabulous. So just like our letter E, we're going to start at the top and draw a line straight down to the bottom. But unlike our E, our F only has 2 imaginary dots. So it has an imaginary dot at the tippy top of that line and one in the middle. So we're going to just draw our horizontal, our across lines from those 2 dots. So it only has 2 across lines, unlike the 1, 2, 3 in the letter E. So F has 1, 2, which means in total it has 1, 2, 3 lines. 1 top to bottom and 2 across. So let's go ahead and write 4 more of our F's. Top to bottom, across, across. 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 Fantastic! Look, that's another word that starts with F. Fabulous and fantastic. Can you think of any others? After F, we have G. And I don't know why I'm capping my marker because I wrote it in the same color. And the reason I wrote it in this purplish color again is because my favorite G word is grapes. I love grapes. So G is kind of a tricky one again because it's not one that starts at the tippy top. Just like C, it starts in between this top and middle line. And then you're going to curl all the way up and around just like the C. But the difference is that instead of stopping there in between the bottom and the middle line, you go all the way up to that middle line and then draw a line going in. So it's almost like this G has a mouth and the grapes are going in it. Grapes, grapes, grapes. G, G, G. And those dots are just my grapes, so you're not actually going to draw those when you write your G. So we're going to start in the middle of the top and middle line. Ignore my dogs barking. Curl up and around to the middle line, and then make the mouth go in. Let's do that 3 more times. Up and around, make the mouth. Up and around, make the mouth. Go ahead and do yours one more time. I ran out of room, so I'll trace this one. Up and around, and make your mouth. And there you have G. The next letter in the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I made my H blue because my favorite color is blue. So blue makes me happy, which is the sound that the letter H makes. The letter H starts the word happy. But you might want to pick whatever color is your favorite because that probably makes you the happiest. I'm going to continue mine with blue though. So to make the letter H, just like our A, our B, our D, our E, and our F, we start at the top and draw a straight line down. So top to bottom. Now, the thing that's different about H is you actually have to go back and start at the top again to make this other vertical up and down line. And then you're going to connect them with a ha horizontal line. What do you know? That's another H word. So we had top to bottom, connect. Top to bottom, connect. Top to bottom, connect. Let's do one more. Top to bottom, connect. Wonderful. I hope those H's make you happy. Our last capital letter for today is the letter I. I used this icy blue color to make my letter I because the word icy or ice begins with I. Another icy word that starts with I is igloo. Notice how that letter I makes two different sounds, icy and igloo. So to make the letter I, you're going to start at the top again. But instead of going from top to bottom, you're going to go top and then trace across that top line. And then go top to bottom and trace across. So another way you could do it is go top to bottom and then add your top hat and your bottom line. Top to bottom, top line, bottom line. Let's do 3 more. Go ahead and do top to bottom, top line, bottom line. Top to bottom, top line, bottom line. Last one. Top to bottom, top line, bottom line. So we have our icy eyes. Now you're going to have to take out the page that has the capital V, W, X, Y, and Z, but then begins on lowercase a and b. So go ahead and take those out, and then we're going to go back up to the top of our page here and redo all these letters that we just did, but in lowercase. So this side is our uppercase letters. If you haven't heard this yet, we use uppercase letters at the beginning of our names, the beginning of sentences, or the names of like special places in the world. Like America would start with A. So would the names Allison or Amanda. So go ahead and take out whichever color or pen or pencil you want to use for your lowercase a, and we'll go back to our A and get started. So make a lowercase a. You're going to first make a circle. So go ahead and make a circle that takes up from your bottom line to that middle dashed line there. So you can start at the top, and the top for lowercase letters here would be this middle line here. So really you're starting at the middle dashed line. And then you're making your circle go all the way down and around and back up to that middle dashed line. And then step 2 is to make a vertical and up and down line from the middle line down to the bottom line, but connected to your circle. And that's how you make an A. So let's do that 5 more times. So we have circle, down and around to the middle line, and a line down. Circle, 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 line down. Circle, 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 line down. Circle, 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 line down. Let's do one more. Circle, 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 line down. And again, I did that A in red because the word apple starts with an A. So back to our blue bees. Blue bees also have a hump on it, like half a butterfly, but instead of like a capital B, the lowercase b only has one bump on the bottom, another B word. So to make a lowercase b, you're going to again start at the tippy top and draw a vertical up and down line all the way to the bottom. And you're just going to make your one bottom bump. Lots of B words for our letter B. Start at the top and go to the bottom, and a bump. Top to bottom, bump. Top to bottom, bump. Let's do 2 more. Top to bottom, and bump. Top to bottom, and bump. Wonderful. So back to our black cat C's. Lowercase c is really just like an uppercase C, but smaller. So instead of taking up all 3 lines top to bottom, it just fits in between that middle dashed line and the bottom one. So again, you're going to start somewhere just below that middle line, and then you're going to curve all the way down to the bottom line, and then curve back up to just above the bottom line. So let's make 5 of those. Curve up, curve down, around and 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 up. And if you'd like to go back and add your cat ears, be my guest. I know I'm going to. I have on my page 7 black, that starts with blue, cats, and that's our C word. So lowercase d can get a little bit confusing because it looks a lot like our lowercase b. But the difference is the bump on our lowercase d goes to the left instead of the right. So I know you might still be learning left and right, right? So that's even trickier. But the more you practice, the better you'll get. So let's practice writing our lowercase d for dog. You're going to, again, start at the top and draw a line down to the bottom. But instead of like our B, where we drew our bump this way, our bump is going to go this way. So you're going to start in the middle and make your bump to the left. D. Top to bottom, bump to the left. Top to bottom, bump to the left. Let's do 3 more. Top to bottom, bump to the left. Top to bottom, bump to the left. Let's just do 1 more. Top to bottom, bump to the left. And there's our D's. Next we have E, right? A, B, C, D, E. Letter E is a little tricky. So our letter E, I'm just going to draw it for you and see what you notice. It's kind of like our letter C, but mouth going inwards. It's like a combination of our letter C and our capital G. So it has that mouth going inward, but that mouth is on the top instead of the bottom. So our letter E, we're going to draw the mouth first, and then curve up, 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 and around, and up. So go ahead and try that with me 5 times. Make your mouth, and then go up, up, and around, and up. Make your mouth, up, up, around, and up. Make your mouth, and then go up, up, around, and up. Make your mouth, up, up, around, and up. And try to make sure that your mouth connects to the curvy part of the E. So I'm going to go back and make sure that all of mine do. Let's do one last one. Make your mouth up, up, around, and up. Excellent. Another E word. Back to our fabulous F's. So I always liked writing F's because to me they look like a backwards candy cane, and I love candy canes. So to make the letter F, instead instead of starting at the top, we're going to start kind of like the C, in the middle of the top in that middle line. And then you're going to draw your backwards candy cane. So a hook down to the bottom. And then just add that across line. Can you see that? There we go. So let's do 5 of those. Backwards candy cane and line across. Backwards candy cane and line across. Backwards candy cane, line across. Backwards candy cane, line across. One more. Backwards candy cane, line across. Fabulous. Our F word of the day. And I'll keep out my purple grape color for lowercase g. So our lowercase g starts a lot like our lowercase a in that we start by making a circle. So go ahead and make your circle. And then we're going to make an upside down candy cane. So that F was the backwards candy cane, the G is an upside down candy cane. Starting at the middle line and then going all the way down to almost to like that top line of the lowercase h here. So it goes underneath the bottom line. That's the first one we're seeing that's going underneath the bottom line there. But that is in fact how you're supposed to write your G. So let's do 5 more of those. Start by making your circle. And then go to the middle line. And make your candy cane going down below the bottom line. 1. Circle. Upside down candy cane. Circle. Candy cane. Circle. Candy cane. And let's do 1 more. Circle. Candy cane. Great! Another G word. Now we're on to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, the letter H. So remember, I used blue because it makes me happy. You should use whatever color makes you the happiest. So our letter H, lowercase, starts just like our uppercase H, in that you draw a line from the top down to the bottom. You'll notice a lot of our letters start like this. And then all you have to do is draw a hill that goes from the middle line down to the bottom. So you're making a hill that connects that line you drew from top to bottom back over and down to the bottom line. Hill is an H word. Top to bottom, draw your hill. Let's do 4 more. Top to bottom, draw your hill. Top to bottom, draw your hill. Top to bottom, draw your hill. Let's just do 1 more and try to make sure that your hill doesn't come above that middle line. And there we go. We have our happy H's. And last but not least are our icy I's. So this is one of my favorite lowercase letters because I always thought that the dot on the lowercase I looks like an eyeball. So it helps me remember this letter is the letter I because it has its own eye. So instead of starting at the very, very top and going to the bottom with our lowercase I, we start in the middle. So you draw a line from the middle to the bottom and then dot the I with an eyeball. So let's do 6 of those since they're so skinny. Top to bottom, not top to bottom, but middle to bottom. Eyeball. Middle to bottom, eyeball. Middle to bottom, eyeball. Middle to bottom, eyeball. Middle to bottom, eyeball. Let's just do 1 more. Middle to bottom, eyeball. Now you have your icy I's. So today we did uppercase letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and lowercase A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So something that you might want to do to practice these letters in the next day or two is continue writing them on lined paper or on your sheets like this. You could paint your letters if you have an easel or a paint set. You could print out bubble letters and then color them in with crayon. Or my personal favorite is to break out the Play-Doh or clay and make these letters with clay and Play-Doh. I think that's the most fun. Tomorrow I'll be posting a lesson on the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters in the alphabet, both uppercase and lowercase. So go ahead and keep practicing with these, and I can't wait to stay tuned with you again tomorrow.